you. I feel like you might be able to say that and get grace, but if I said it, it would be fucking problematic.
Hello, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kandrin.
What up? What up? It is Deja. How y'all doing?
Hello. So, if you've never been here before, welcome. We do a cross section of pop culture and real life, and we cover reality TV. So we're here multiple times a week. If that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe and like this video in advance. Today we are doing a reality TV hodgepodge, where so much has been happening in the last couple of weeks in the world of reality TV. And we're going to talk through quite a bit of it. Just a heads up, when we do these hodgepodge episodes, I do drop down timestamps in the description box so you can kind of like skip around for the things you care about.
I
All
feel
right.
like the number one thing is at the bottom of the list.
Well, let's pull it back. I mean, it doesn't have to be at the bottom of the list. I was just writing things in order that they were coming to my life. So let's talk Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's start.
The most exciting shit.
Well, prior to the announcement this week, we had heard Kandi say that no one had been asked back, and I think the world over was rejoicing because we were tired of seeing them. However, it appears that some people were indeed asked back, being Porsha and Nene.
Hello. Can we get the original freaking frack? Well, were they freaking frack?
No, it was Porsha.
Not so much.
Porsha and Phaedra were freaking
frack. Yeah. But I mean, they did have their like comedic back and forth. Oh yeah. So that's what I was like alluding to, but they weren't called freaking frack. I don't know what they called themselves, but I'm glad that they are going to sign on to do this season.
Same.
I think that we needed some levity, honey. We needed some the Porsha energy of it all, the funny kiki. I need that back because Atlanta has been boring.
Absolutely.
I will even take having them back and then bringing back Latoya Ali as a friend of, because she and Porsha were sort of building, but you had homegirl in the middle. What's her name that was born with the husband that we was talking about? They was running to the courthouse. Drew Sidora. Yeah. I would like to, because like I feel like Drew needs someone else to play off of. There is no one that really gives her like a gets her goat, as my mother would say. I don't even know what the freak that saying means, but but yes, I'm excited. So yeah, they should be filming now.
I'm excited too, and we've seen like for the Phaedra of it all, even though I feel like Phaedra doesn't have anyone to play with on Married to Med, and that's why she's coming up short, I think. But we have seen the excitement of how people felt when she was, asked to come on this show. She just needs someone to play with. They need to bring Quad back so she has someone to play with.
Girl, I'm saying. But then it'll be like because I feel like they bring the same type of energy. So it's like I don't want to see a one-upping of energy trying to top each other's one-liners type thing. And I could totally see that happening betwixt the two of them. I don't know.
They have a different like quippiness.
But like think Mariah and Quad back in the day.
Quad and Mariah they're the same person though. Quad and Mariah they're too similar. I don't think Quad and Phaedra are that similar. Like I think they both have I think Quad is more like in your face, like directly to the point.
Phaedra is just
Phaedra is like nasty. A quiet, nice, nasty, shady kind of girly. Like she's very kind of slick about it and she's just like slinky about herself. And I don't think Quad has that energy. They don't have the same energy to me. Her and Mariah are exactly the same person because they used to be best friends.
Girl. Yes.
So for me, that was a bit much. Let's see. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Let's talk through this. Monica was indeed fired. We talked about whether or not she was going to be fired, whether or not she was good for the show. Clearly they didn't think so. And clearly the cast, apparently they were kind of like citing mental health concerns and stuff. Kind of like
it's a liability to have her on that show. They had to fire that bitch.
Yeah, 100%. But they did.
I mean, even though she brought some, again, levity to the show, she made it interesting.
She didn't bring any levity. She made it interesting, though.
It was just well, I mean, she made it interesting. I'll say that. But like, it was boring. But Salt Lake City has always been boring.
So speaking of it always being boring, uh, the internet has been talking about Mary coming back as a full-time housewife, and I cannot think of anything worse.
I don't think that she should,
I don't think that
because
she
there's
should.
nobody for her. It just like Mary just seems out of place.
Yeah.
Because
Also,
you
I
have a
feel like
cast full of white women, and maybe not necessarily all identifying as such, but they are white adjacent, right? So like, and then you throw Mary in there with her blackity blackness and her wigs and her, whatever else have you.
yeah.
It just seems like to your point of how we always talking about, we watch these shows for entertainment purposes. Watching Mary be in this cast is like going to corporate America to go to work every day.
Yes, and she clocks in and does just enough. But let me say something. I love Mary Cosby. I think she is hilarious. However,
Exactly.
however, I have
This is
learned
not
my
her
lesson.
cast.
I have learned my lesson in that I was happy that Marlo got a peach, and Marlo should have always been a friend of. Like, she was just perfect coming into the party, shaking some shit up, starting a little something, getting the party going, and then being around or not. She was perfect in that role. And I think that is what Mary is. She's somebody you invite around to get the party going.
And
What?
you literally just made me think about something.
What?
Considering that what you said before, that they haven't asked anybody back yet, and now we know that Porsha and Nene are going to be signed back on. I wonder if they demoted her.
I could see that. And I know that she, like, as far as on the internet, we have seen Portia, Nene, and Marlo hanging out, which I actually like as a trio, but Marlo she doesn't bring anything as a full-time housewife. She does not have and maybe she did before, like maybe if she had been invited seasons before,
Earlier.
it would have been
Yeah.
good, but she just doesn't have she doesn't have enough anymore. And there isn't enough scandal or anything. Like, maybe it would have been interesting if she was still, you know, dating around, or like any of that stuff, that
But
all of
she
those
is still
rumors that
dating
were
around,
fine.
according to her.
Well, but I'm saying, like, it really more so became about her nephews, and that was not what we wanted to see from Marlo. We wanted to see her out on the town being grand, and that was not the lifestyle that she was living by the time she was invited to join the show full time.
No. Oh well.
So, oh well on that. But all that to say, I don't think that Mary should be promoted to a full-time housewife, nor do I think she really even wants to. Like, I
I
think
don't think
Mary
she
likes
need to be on
coming,
there.
she kind of likes having that like starring role, sort of like, okay, I just show up. I may or may not participate. I don't have to worry about this and being contractually bound to show up any place. Like, I can't be bothered with that.
Yeah, but I imagine that next season she may not even be a friend of again.
Yeah,
Because
we'll
she
see.
didn't really do anything with the cast. Like, it was only a few episodes of her here and there,
Yeah,
from what I could see. So anyway,
fair
moving
enough.
along. What's
Um,
next?
oh, I'm gonna come back to this mess. I want to say, did you know that Zack and Bliss are expecting? Is this the first Love Is Blind baby?
No, yes. Because there's another couple that came out that are expecting, but Zack and Bliss are further along, so they might be the first. You might be
Okay.
right.
And I get excited when these things happen in real life. I'm shocked they're still together, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk. Let's talk Love and Marriage Huntsville, because I had a lot of thoughts on this.
Jiminy
Love and Marriage
Crickets.
Huntsville.
Girl.
So we've gotten it confirmed that Melody is the one that had Martell arrested, which I was kind of like, I could see it going that way.
It's just crazy because I did watch the YouTube interview that Tasha K put up,
Oh, good, because I did not.
where he confirmed that it was her that did it, and he was just like, and I mean, take this shit with a grain of salt, right? Because it's quite likely that he embellished or made some things up. We don't really know. But he said that like the crazy thing about it is that she went and did this however long ago, and in between the time that she filed this complaint or whatever, and them filming or doing events and things together, she was sitting there kikiing with him all in his face, being friendly and carrying on, and then boom, he goes down to the jailhouse, as we like to call it, to do something that he needed to do for himself legally, and they were like, oh well, there's a warrant out for your arrest, and took him that day.
Well, there was a snippet. I can't remember who I was watching on YouTube, but there was a snippet of her talking about this in a conversation with Carlos King, where she basically confirmed that this story was very similar and said, like, when she filed the charges or whatever, they asked if she wanted them to go get him. And she was like, no, I don't think that's necessary. Like, it'll happen whenever it's supposed to happen or in due time or whatever the case is. And so
Just spring that
essentially
shit on him. Like,
she just
damn.
left it to chance, or left it to whenever they felt like it was the right time. So that's what happened. So she
And the
confirmed,
crazy
the
thing
story is
about it,
similar.
on top of that though, is like, it leaving it to chance that way, he was with the kids. So then all these arrangements had to be made. Your father, like, I don't know. It's just messy. I don't necessarily feel like I'm on his side by any means, but I'm damn sure not on her side. The both of them together are just chaos, combustible.
Chaos. Absolute chaos. What else? So Mel and Carlos, or Mel was on the first stop of Carlos's tour, I think. Something about this feels very conflict of interesty to me.
Oh, that part, my bad. I hit the mute button, excuse me.
It's just very like incestuous almost. Like, this is the star of your show. This is, well,
incestuous,
the star of your show. You are the creator and executive producer of this show, and you are hosting events with this person, but like, not just, I don't know, something about it just feels off to me. And I know he has done it with other people, like had other people on his show and all of the things on YouTube or whatever. But it's just something about it is like, it gives unfair treatment. Like, we're gonna have to suffer Mel a little longer because she and Carlos are friends, essentially. Like, because I feel like if Carlos was taking a step back and looking at this show, as he has spoken so boldly about other reality shows, he would be advocating for Mel to go.
I mean, every week I tell y'all, when we talk about them, they should go ahead and get off this show and take them producing credits.
But I think that, they have a friendship, and so it's not going to happen, or it's not going to happen until she's ready. And I think that's unfortunate, because the show could be better. It could be a lot better. But
I think, to the point of him, doing this show and this like live broadcast or whatever, I don't know that Melody has ever sat with him as a guest on his podcast.
Right. Which is,
I don't think so. So it makes sense to kick off this tour with like his starlet, so to speak, because he's never had a sit down conversation with her. And in the snippets that I've heard about their tour, like, they had like a come to Jesus kind of moment while doing this show, but I've not watched. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
So
I mean, like I said, I kind of like a little bit more distance, so that there can be some feeling of like impartiality, for the sake of the show. And I don't know, it just feels very like it's too close compared to how his relationship is with some of the other people. Did you read that article about the Real Housewives of Potomac? What did you think about that? So, background, I think it was okay, good, because I wrote it down a few times. It was on Essence. I will leave a link to it down below. So the article basically talked about, I think it was written by a Nigerian woman, and talked about the beef between Nneka and Wendy, and how this show wasn't the appropriate place for that. And in talking about the Osu and all of the other things that were alleged about witchcraft and all of this stuff, because Nigerians take that very, very seriously, and like, that is too much. And they also talk a little bit about the colorism, I believe. And it just talked about a lot of basically saying that Real Housewives of Potomac is kind of in its flop era, which we agree with. But But yeah, it was, there was a lot in the article. What were your thoughts?
So I disagreed with this because I don't know if the author was Nigerian. I know that the person that they were speaking to that was like a socialite and a creative content creator, excuse me. She was the one alleging that basically this is kitchen table talk and then you put it on
Right,
the mainstream stage and not everybody it's not palpable for everybody, but like
right,
how
right,
is it
right.
not palpable? I don't understand why and this leads back to like a cross the diaspora
Mm-hmm.
experience where your elders tell you that there are certain things that you're allowed to talk about in public and the
Yeah.
rest of things have to stay within the house. That's basically the gist of what I got from that creator. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, girl, like they broke it down to the lowest level of understanding for those of us who wanted to know what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wanted more education on it, then you can go searching and Googling it. I don't see what the issue is. I think for me, the issue as it relates to NECA and Wendy is the fact that we finally have more brown skinned women on the cast, and those are the women that are combating each other. That's my
Okay.
issue. I don't care nothing about the fact that they are talking about these very culturally relevant issues. Like teach me as a Black American about Nigerian culture. This is something, it may not be like a wonderful thing to learn about, but it's a piece of your history and your culture that we don't know about. We don't get access to. We're not
Yeah.
included in that part of the diaspora.
So
So that's
I have,
one thing.
oh, okay. So let me talk to that real quick before you moved on. Before you move
Hmm.
on to your next thing. I have mixed feelings about this because actually when we started reviewing this season, I kind of like felt like I felt like that conversation was kind of out of its depth. But then I zoomed out and I was like, well, it's two Nigerians that are talking about it. And did Ashley stir the pot? Yeah, she
Yes.
did. But like, and maybe, and I thought like she shouldn't have been involved. She should have kept her mouth shut. But it's two Nigerians talking about it. So I was like, eh,
And
here's my
explaining it to
here's my
us.
thing. No, I didn't even care about the explanation. Here's my thing, right? Uh, unpopular opinion time. Unpopular opinion, right? People want to come on and take advantage of this platform, but shield some of their cultural stuff. And it's like it's okay for certain people to be on there and for our cultural business to be on the streets and all of our Black cultural colorism. And I'm not that that's just a Black thing. I know that that's a global thing,
Hmm.
but all of our Southern, you know, eccentricities and all of our just like random stuff that is within the Black community, the Black American community, is
Hmm.
on full display. So you two Nigerian women put your Nigerian business on full display. If it had
Hmm.
been a non-Nigerian talking to a Nigerian, I would have been like off base, out of bounds. But I'm just like,
I don't see the problem.
y'all were talking to each other as far as I was concerned. If
Hello?
that was inside business, then y'all were the ones that put it out there, and I don't see why other people don't get to chime in all of a sudden. Like that's what the show is about: is people having conflict and other people chiming in. So like your conflict is
It ain't special.
not special conflict, in my opinion. And like if that's it's a serious allegation of like witchcraft, but like you know,
We have those type of allegations amongst Black Americans too. It just
I
is not
agree.
known by that name. So
Yeah.
it ain't special. That's the Black ass bottom line. I'm sorry.
That was my sort of unpopular take is like it's not special and y'all were talking outside of business inside and or
Oh
inside business
well.
outside and like y'all let us in, so I don't think that you get special protection. You should take that up
Mm-mm.
with Wendy and NECA.
Right. And so and it also like bodes to this idea that um well we kind of spoke we're speaking about it now without directly addressing it, but like this hoity-toity attitude better than the cream of the crop. And I'm like, girl, miss me with that. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But that's how I read that commentary from that
That was
creator.
the tone I got of it too.
Cause like, girl, I'm not gonna do that. So
Don't do it, don't go there, but Y'all know what we're saying.
The girls who get it, okay?
The girls who get it. And I'm just saying, like, if y'all gonna get on here, y'all gotta subject yourself to the stuff that everybody else is subjecting themselves to.
Hello? And that's the bottom line.
And if you hadn't brought it up, then nobody would be talking about it. So that was on y'all.
Hello? All right. So I was so moved by something that I wrote it down. So there's a quote in there that it's in the Essence article, and it says, for those who may harbor, in speaking about the green-eyed bandits, all the light-skinned cast, okay?
Yeah.
So it says, for those who may harbor entitlement due to their being fair-skinned, witnessing darker-skinned Black women thriving in every aspect of life can be triggering. And I just was like, I don't know if that was the author of I don't remember if it was in quotations as the creator saying this, or if it was from the author. And to me, it just left me with a question mark, like, why? Why is this the immediate go-to? Like, and I thought that you and I could have this conversation because we are of two different hues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this the immediate, like, because their lives are whatever they may be, and they are supposedly thriving and living their best lives, why automatically it's a point of contention that of that? I don't get it.
I think I've said it here before. I don't think that colorism, I'm not going to say colorism doesn't play any part. I think, I'm cautious
jealousy
to say
is
that.
jealousy. I don't
Jealousy
think
is
that
jealousy.
what you look like.
But wait, my point has always been of this show.
Yeah.
Is some of the people are just not likable. And
yes.
I think that NECA's more likable than Wendy. I do. So I mean, she's kind of a hot mess, but at least she tries and she's not on some like high horse, like I'm too good for this and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? I think
Wendy grew on me after I realized that this woman was out here figuring her shit out, like coming
she
into
has
her
grown
own.
on me.
Now I'm like, okay, I get it.
She's grown on me a bit this season because I think she's like let her hair down a little bit. So she has grown on me, but I don't think she's in the past seasons. I don't think she's been that likable.
No, I agree with you on that.
I think Candiace is vile. And that is why she gets a lot of the blowback. It's not because she is of a darker hue. It's because she's vile. And
I hate that she tries to hide behind her complexion as her complexion being an issue. That is bullshit to me.
And she behaves very much like a white woman. Please. She is very Karen. She gives a lot of Karen energy. Okay. As far as I think that Ashley is also vile. I think she has softened a lot as she has
softened her.
The kids softened her, but I find her to be incredibly messy, and I don't like her either. So I'm able to say that there are light-skinned people on this cast that I don't like, and there's dark-skinned people on this cast that I don't like, and there's light-skinned people that I do like, and there's dark-skinned people that I do like. And I'm always going to be able to say that no matter which show that I'm watching. Now, are some people like out and out, and maybe there is some of that, like, I don't want to say that. There's some of this like testing and like, you know, the newbies come in and they have to go through the ranks or whatever. We know that some of the girls are in organizations, if you will. Like there's some of that energy to it, but I wonder if it's that more than it is like a bit of colorism. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I feel like you might be able to say that and get grace, but if I said it, it would be fucking problematic.
Maybe, but like I said, I'm very careful about that because like I'm looking at the situation like a bigger picture of saying like, is this a problem? Like, am I missing something? Because like my family is very, very on the darker hue, and I'm also
my family is very on the dark. Don't exclude me.
Well, yes. So it is, and colorism, like, yes, that's an issue that in the background, like back in the day. But like I was always raised to be very like pro my skin color. Like my mom was very much like did not raise me with any sort of issues about my skin at all. Like she did that very well and was very clear that there's nothing wrong with you. So I feel like I don't deny like colorism. Maybe that's how people are perceiving Giselle. But I'm also happy to say like Giselle was one of my favorites because she kept the party going, not because she brought anything exciting to the table. And now that she's not bringing she's not even getting the party started, I'm the first person to say she can go. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we have to be fair. And like we have to be fair and acknowledge Candace is vile. We have
always will be.
We have to say that. And that does not have anything to do with her complexion. And she's vile, and she also behaves like a white woman. Like we cannot.
Now here's the thing. She behaves like a Karen. We're not gonna group all of our white sisters into that bunch.
A Karen, you're right. Behavior. She behaves like a Karen. Like she was raised around a lot, went to private schools with a lot of white women or white girls, and has become a Karen. That is how she behaves to me. So I don't like Karen. I don't like her because of that. And I'm able to clearly see when I don't like someone there's a reason why. And like you said, Wendy has grown on me because she's let her hair down. Part of the issue that I've always had with Wendy is that she was stuffy and she was throwing around her like degrees and stuff. And it's like, girl, but you on this show like everybody else. And now that she has come into her own on the show, like I like her a little more this season, even though she has gotten on my nerves in some ways. Like I like her a little bit more. Like her in Texas, she was having a good time. She's likable. That's the difference. Like we cannot chalk all of this up to colorism when we have to acknowledge that some of these people just are not likable.
Agreed. And I think the unfortunate caveat of the last season, because that's when they had the reunion where they talked about colorism. I think that is a crutch that has been, or not even a crutch, but like a dark cloud that's hanging over this cast because it's being used inappropriately.
Yeah.
There are aspects of colorism that exist because the cast at one point was all light.
Yes.
Okay. But once we got introductions of other hues of color, it ain't just that.
And also now you have the girls are fighting each other too. So like, it seems like it's fair game now. Everybody's fighting each other. So like, it feels very fair. I don't know. The colorism thing has always gotten on my nerves because they pick the people who side with some of the girls. Y'all have to acknowledge that y'all's faves are not likable. And we gonna just have to get on the same page about that.
Pretty much.
So anyways, I will drop the article down below in the description box. Please chime in and let us know what y'all think about Potomac. If we are missing something as far as this colorism conversation, because I keep watching people talk about it and I've heard people talk about it and I'm just still not buying it. So y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. I think it has more to do with inducting people into the circle.
Hazing, girl. Just say that, girl. That's what they said in the Essence article. Before we leave you, the one thing that we didn't talk about is, first of all, if y'all are even watching the Basketball Wives this time, because I haven't watched that in so long. I don't know what the hell going on, but you know, a couple episodes ago, we talked about Brittish getting charges and eventually going to jail. Now it has her ex also being facing fraud charges.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, what the hell?
I guess he benefited from the money, so he gotta be in the mix too. So,
child, we're gonna find out sooner or later, honey. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Drop down in the comments and let us know what your thoughts are. We ain't got shit to say about that damn British shit. Bye. Bye.